Hi, my name is Vince Anthony Solis Tiboda, and I'm here to report about tech organization. Startup. A company that undergoes in its primary operation refers to a temporary organization that's also known as startup company or startup. It is in developmental and researchable stage for market because it's commonly newly established. Companies like this are planned to search for business model that is repeatable and scalable. Believing at the demand of a certain product drives an entrepreneur or a group of entrepreneurs to create a product or service. Thus, a startup can be founded by one or more entrepreneurs. In addition, a startup usually starts with great costs and limited revenue, resulting for them to find venture capitalists which are varied source of capital. So, what what is venture venture capitalists? Meanwhile, venture capitalist offers a capital privately with equity to companies which may result the exhibition of high growth potential in exchange of equity stake. Meaning, those small companies that aim to expand but do not have the capability in market can have support and a source of fund for startup. So, how are startups structured? So first is defining roles. Conflict may arise as the company grows, which happens in the time when founder or of a startup company are already a team. From a single business person, despite this fact, it is more of a positive sign and an exciting transition because the team will move out to a more defined working place. Following our startup founders need to consider as they plan an organizational structure. So first is we have defining roles, architecting the structure, building our team, bringing in the professionals, communicate with the boards. So first is defining roles. Due to limited manpower, founders of a startup perform versatility in accomplishing many roles as possible to finish work with little expense. Complementary skills are possessed often when a founder is not alone in establishing a company. According to Dave Soren, a partner of Buck Carter and English, revisiting constantly the pros founders and executives is needed in a successful business because it results in no holes in the skill sets. Second is architecting the structures. Delegating the task should be considered if there is remaining hierarchy when leaders are already assigned. Therefore, a team structure is needed and should be led properly. Avoiding, avoiding the managing by committee and deciding who will supervise every department leaders at the C-level is what Haraximonian of Canaan Partners has suggested. The needs of a company vary as time flies, but the interaction between the team should be considered by the founder also known structure of needs. As an example, company extremely relies on a small team according to Roy Lang of Twilio. There should be an idea of the culture they want to build and how it should be maintained inside the company, for nothing is set in stone. Founders should also have the factor of finishing goals when making a structure for your company. Soren claimed that if you intend to operate a lifestyle business for income, therefore it will be built differently as contrasting in undertaking a public offering or selling the company. So building your team. Obviously, you're not going to grow your team without hiring. As a founder or executive, it's important that you realize you can do everything by yourself. But it's essential you involve yourself in the hiring process. One, one of the most important hiring decisions is the first hiring for it's while highly depends in your business model and the market you are in. According to co-founder of Burst, Brad Peters, Before expanding their offering to greater enterprise, Peter and Paul's team were focused on selling the financial service in their early years. Peter also claimed that their first hires were salespeople because of their early focus, which is to find who understand financial service inside and out, in order to assess the scale of customers can be with. Bring in the professionals. One of a company reaches a certain point, founder will need to consider talent to fill specific leader roles in the company. One of the most important aspects of your business is in this in this regard is legal. Quite possibly, the first place you need to bring in adversary and profession is anywhere in the organization that involves intellectual property, which is likely your greatest asset, Soren said. Furthermore, Soren said hiring experienced sales and marketing personnel is needed when you are planning to expand further your scale within the present opportunity. The last is communicate with the boards. Board of Directors can be one of your greatest assets as a startup founder. As such, communication with the board is key. Don't wait for meetings to ask advice or convey new information. The process doesn't have to be formal. Simonian said your communication should be casual but frequent. All of your advisors and peers can be helpful, but your board has vested interest in your success and hopefully experience to back up their advice. Your board members have also likely been through the startup process before, maybe more than once, and can help you navigate the waters as you build your business. Outside insight can be tremendously helpful, but remember that you as a founder or executive must be comfortable with the decision being made as your organization structure takes shape. So, how does their organization look like? So, first is they have defined business types, create meaningful groups, focus on key players, open to flexibility, level space for new members, peer view, talk with the boards, keep your org chart up to date. So, first is we have defined business types. Delimits your company competences, then focus. Thinking what really matters for your team is the key to asking yourself questions about the possible needed company element aligned to your goals. So, second is create meaningful groups. Align the individual roles with the total role of the team to the type of your company. For example, marketers should be primary decision makers if marketing is your company's central element. Third is focus on key players. Take note of your noteworthy employee, and they can be found at any point. Also, have the professional at the right time for your business improvements. Fourth is open to flexibility. Be open to changes. Always make sure you do not cross boundaries and make sure to check roles frequently in order to avoid holes in the totality of your organization chart. It is level space for new members. Hire more talent with will fill in the vacancies in your developing business. Think about the roles the new employees needed to fit in which is unavoidable because of subdivision in your startup organization chart will bring more roles. Next is peer view. A better form of communication is giving team members a moment to have self-evaluation, which is best done in scheduled manner. Employees should be used in giving and receiving feedback regularly. Talk with the board. Board members have great experience in setting up startup, so have a healthy kind of communication with them, which does not have to be formal. They can assist you and frequently communications made you comfortable with the decision being made. Next is the last is keep your org chart up to date. Changes in an organization chart may be sensitive or more it can affect the work performance and vision of current employees, which made it subtle step. Example of startup company. Here are the some example of startup company. Forbes in ranking order. First is Allbirds, Chime, Etal, Mercada, and Dispatch. And these are their logos, Albert Shirt. So, small and medium companies. So, the significant economic progress influencing and accelerating economic growth is continuously pursued by emerging small and medium enterprises through the efficient use of resources. Therefore, considered as flexibility, mobility, innovation, and capacity to adapt amidst of the growing economy. SME found a steady status and plays an important role in economic and social life of a country. In fact, Asia is one of the countries that has a large scale of SME. We note how important it is at this level to encourage initiative and entrepreneurial spirit that stimulates and generates the emergence and development of SMEs as an important factor in building a strong economy, competitive and innovative at the same time, a function and competitive economy. So, how are SMEs structured? So, we have lower revenue and profitability, smaller teams of employees, small market area, sole or partnership ownership and taxes. And last is limited area of fewer locations. So, lower revenue and profitability. Small business administration categories small business as companies that bring in less than specific amount of revenue according to the type of business. Thus, small-scale business revenue is lower the companies that operate on large scale. However, small-scale business generally own their asset outright which keep costs cheaper than more leveraged business, meaning lower revenue does not necessarily translate into lower profitability. Second is smaller team of employees. Teams that are employed are smaller in small-scale businesses comparing to larger in scale. In fact, small business is run by a single individual or smaller teams, depending on the business type. Large small-scale business can have manpower not more than one hand. So, small market area. Small-scale business often operate in a single community such as convenience store. Therefore, the areas that small-scale business operate is much smaller than the corporation or larger businesses. Its definition prevents small-scale business to serve larger area. When it continuously expands, it will be pushed into new classification. Fourth is sole partnership, ownership, and taxes. Small-scale business is advisable to have sole proprietorship as organized it can be. Partnership or restrict accountability companies and corporate form of business is not appropriate. So, the hassle and expenses of businesses registrations are being minimized because of the enhanced managerial control of the company. So, last is limited area of fewer location. Sales outlet in multiple states of the countries are not the characteristic of small scale. Business also can be found in a limited area. Large number of this type of business is operating in a single office. Retail store or service outlets are just outside of their home without any facilities of company. So how does their organization look like? So they have president, product A manager, VP design, VP marketing, and VP finance. So under product manager A, there is a product manager B, product manager C. So VP design, they have VP design. So and VP marketing, they have VP marketing B, VP marketing C, and for the VP finance, they have VP finance B, VP finance C. So example of SMEs is companies. So we have Freshworks, Sprout, eSquare, FedEx, Grab, Lazada, Smart, Zoho, Lalabo, Signal, Canon, PLDT, DHL, and Epson. So example of MC's companies and their structure. So my example is the Lazada. So Lazada has CEO, uh, Chief Financial Officer, second is Chief Operating Officer, and Chief Marketing Officer. So under Chief Marketing Officer, they have Operating and Marketing Solution, Head of Content, Chief of Staff, Passion, Seller Engagement, HR, and under HR, they have Vice President, Head of Seller Engagement. Big companies. What is big tech and why we should care? Facebook, Apple, Google, and Amazon are the four major technology companies which is described as big tech, and Microsoft is often added to the list. These companies continuously shape the progressive society due to its great influence and dominance in the market. Millions of people are patronizing the service and product of these companies, causing them to penetrate reachable and unreachable market globally. Failures are seen as opportunity to their growth and bettering of the product, resulting in an enormous growth of their companies. The superiority of these big companies completely enhance the way we use technology in daily basis. For the past few years, they have significant growth in their specific field. The way they respond with the needs of their consumers is a great lesson for the newly established companies on how to understand the market and eventually become a leader. These companies' respective sectors are completely dominated by them. For example, Apple with communication internet devices, Facebook in the social media spaces, Google for internet searches, and Amazon as dominant player in the e-commerce market. Ensuring customer satisfaction and understanding the needs of consumers is the key of their dominance, so millions of people are depends on their product and services. So here is the big five tech companies and their five acquisitions. Example of big companies are Facebook, Google, Apple, Amazon, and Microsoft. So you can see in the slide, this slide. So example of big companies. Google. Google is a pioneer in software services and offers software as a personal with innovative usage. Google based on a priority rank system the answer on users' inquiry through their files of information from millions of pages, which is hundreds of terabytes. In addition, Google provides image-based searching engine as the common search engine, which made Google as the most preferred search engine of the users. Google always base their services accordingly to the needs of the users, so they modify their content through providing insight and analytics, and then advertisers can reach broader target of audience. Advertisement is the major source of revenue of Google, and they present it in a simple and convenient for the users. Furthermore, Google offers other services that also leading in their field, such as email, web browser, video sharing site, and mobile apps. In order to provide the best user experience, Google extends their software services with excellent hardware. Google ecosystem runs the popular end device such as Google Home and Google Pixel, but Google works constantly to have more user-friendly device services. So this is the Google organizational structure. So they have board of directors, operating committee, engineering, product, sales, finance, business operation, legal, and Google audit. So example of big companies. Apple. A leader of innovation of software and hardware is what Apple known for, where they created an excellent product and services that are incredible, resulting Apple to reap a great level of brand loyalty and became the most valuable brand in the world. Their excellence as big tech companies give them the title as the world's largest technology company by revenue. In fact, in August 2018, its value over $1 trillion, which made Apple as he first public as company to be valued at over 1 trillion US dollars. Innovative and closed security ecosystem is the core of Apple's operation, also giving satisfying user experience. Apple is leading in the data security though it may not be foolproof. They still have the best security protocols. Thus, Apple excels very well in data security and privacy, but it continuously expand in marketing share by producing service and product like Apple HomePod, Apple Watch, and Apple Music. So here's the Apple organization structure. So, diversified tech companies. What is this first diversified tech companies? Modern companies have common characteristic which is technological diversification. It's dealing with the complicated product system and highly competitive environment. Its technological focus strategy have very effect on the competitive advantage of companies. The empirical analysis of technology diversification of ICT fields, top 10 companies show that technology-focused companies are Huawei, ZTE, IBM, Foxconn. On the other hand, Panasonic, Philips, Samsung, LG, Toshiba, and Sony belongs to the technological diversified companies. Through the log function, the empirical analysis of patient input and patient output, it shows that marginal benefit diminishing law has a relationship hoarding accords with patent input and technological competitiveness. The lower their technological competitive advantage, the greater the input is well for the technological diversified companies maintain a certain percentage of some technologies and have specific advantage in technologies. So here are diversification strategies. First is concentric diversification. A computer company that main product is computers then release laptops are pursuing a concentric diversification, meaning concentric diversification involves adding similar products or services to the current business. Second is horizontal diversification. Providing new and unrelated product or services to an existing consumer is what horizontal diversification is. A notebook producer joins the trend market in a good example company pursuing a horizontal diversification strategy will bring more roles. Conglomerate diversification. Adding a new product or services that is definitely not related and will not technological of commercial similarities is called as the conglomerate diversification. As a good example is computer company starts to produce notebooks. General Electric. So, example of diversification. First is General Electric. One of the successful diversification stories is General Electric, which started as merger between two electric companies on 1892 and currently operates in several segments such as aviation, energy connections, healthcare, lighting oil and gas, power, renewable energy, transformation, and more. Walt Disney, a company that has a variety of products and services such as themes, parks, cruise lines, resorts, TV broadcasting, live entertainment, and more that is far from the main animation business in Walt Disney Company. But the Walt Disney Company is stated as successful, is indeed a successful company. So that's all.